Many of the topics Paul covers are important to our Christian faith, yet at the same time, at least some of them may not be clear to us by a casual reading of the text in question. To this day, many points of contention remain dividing saints where only unity should be found. The topic of righteousness is one of great debate. Some believe that simply calling on the name of Jesus has the power to instill a righteousness in an individual that no continuing personal shortcoming or sin can remove. Others believe that righteousness is a constant seeking to please God by our own good works that we perform in His name. And while there are varying degrees of belief between these two extremes, the majority are clearly mistaken as to what it means to be righteous. Jesus describes us as trees which are easily identified by our fruit. This description goes a long way to help us understand what righteousness is and how it will look. For one thing, a tree doesn't work hard to produce one type of fruit while exerting equal and opposite effort to refrain from producing another type. An apple tree doesn't have to struggle to find the opportunity or the willpower to produce apples. Nor does it have to strive to refrain from producing lemons. It produces apples because that's its nature. Where the tree analogy begins to fail is where we consider mobility. Since humans are mobile and trees are stationary, how do we account for this difference? One thing to consider is environment over time. While trees have no control over their environment, we do. A tree may experience many years of sufficient resources, and when it experiences a drier year than normal, it's able to cope and survive. As humans, we have nearly complete control over our spiritual environment. From day to day, we can be found in whatever environment we choose. If we choose to keep ourselves in an environment that encourages spiritual growth, when a trial comes along, or when we are called on by God to reach out into spiritual darkness to help rescue a captive soul from the enemy, we will be able to persevere and overcome these obstacles. On the other hand, if we don't keep ourselves in that good spiritual environment, when trouble comes, we will find ourselves falling short. This is the power we have to influence how well we absorb the righteousness that God has provided for those who consider themselves His servants. If we hope to grow spiritually, it will only be by keeping ourselves under the crimson flow of His righteousness. God has made a way, but our responsibility is to continue to receive all that He has for His people, and then share it with others.